here on the Overanalyst channel. Today, since, well, my daily workload was over and done with far earlier than I had expected it to be, we are going to have an extra long stream of Dark Souls 3, hopefully taking us quite a bit further into the game. Now, first things first, before we get into the actual good stuff, we're going to pop back on to the Firelink Shrine. Hey MC, how's it going? Hope you're having a great day so far. This evening I plan on digging into the Blades in the Dark manuals, by the by, and seeing, first off, what exactly we're going to be doing in the game, and secondly, what my preferences would be. I don't think we can upgrade our weapons just yet, nor would... Well, no, we need 4, I think. We wouldn't really want to yet, anyhow, as, we got a few things to do here, including possibly leveling up, but first, let's go talk to our buddy Yoel, the Pilgrim of Londor that we rescued toward the end of yesterday's stream, and again, one of my favorite NPCs in the game.
Our champion of Ash, welcome.
And she says, Spooky just finished stream, so I jumped right here. Awesome, I just got out of class.
With a debt in death,
And hope she had a good stream.
Flame. And I never would have, had you not taken me into your service. I thank you dearly for this, and assure you of my leal service.
Glad to hear it, man. So, Yoel offers, we talked about this briefly yesterday, but he offers a variety of very fundamental soul sorceries because, unlike in the other games, it's actually going to take us a little while before we can find our sorcery trainer. And actually, the first time I played Dark Souls 2, or Dark Souls 3, I made it almost through the entire game without ever finding them. So he offers some very, very fundamental sorceries, including Magic Weapon, which we might want to pick up later. But he also offers a unique service that no other NPC in the series has. Draw out True Strength.
Then shall we begin? Bearer of the dark sign, let your true strength shine.
Right, so dig this. Since Yoel is associated with Londor, a proud country of independent hollows working to make the most of undeath without necessarily losing their souls, their selves, and venerating the immortality associated with with undeath and with the darkness, he will allow us to gain completely free levels every couple of times we die, or hollow, essentially, or maybe with every death, up to 5. We can get 5 free levels out of this guy early on in the game, and I think it's a really cool feature. I'm not sure what point or where we want to allot this point quite yet. Maybe more vitality, or... yeah, we, probably want to get vitality up to 15, drop a couple more points in dex, then start building up endurance and vigor, then go back down to intelligence, because it'll be a while before we get over here. Yeah, that sounds good. Thanks, Yoel. MC says we talked a bit about the game, a bit about Blades, the game being Castlevania. Yeah, and she playing Castlevania 4-ish, or no, Aria of Sorrow, which is a really good one, if I recall.
As I have said, I was once a sorcerer. Alas, the magic of Londor is a far cry from the wonders of Vinheim. But I can teach you what I know. Perhaps...
OMC says Dawn of Sorrow. Dawn of Sorrow, that's it.
I believe that I can help tease out your true strength.
Good stuff.
We pilgrims of Londor are keenly aware that those branded by the dark sign possess something quite special.
So if you caught any of that, you should be aware at this point that everything that these guys and Londor as a whole stands for is completely antithetical to everything Lord Gwyn believed. Hey, Seth, how's it going? Thanks so much for dropping by. She says this hosting business is so tedious on Twitch, it was much easier on Mixer. I'm not familiar with Mixer, but it's a platform that a lot of people remember very fondly, apparently. Okay, and we can't get anything more from Yol.
Be safe, champion of Ash.
Will do. Thanks, buddy. So, later in the game, we can find several spells and miracles associated with Londor's very special religion. And, might not use them, but we're definitely grabbing all of them. Is there anybody else we might want to talk to while we're here? Firekeeper for leveling up, but I don't think Greyrot has... Oh no, we need to drop off the bone. Remember, we found what was left of his poor companion strung up in the undead settlement. So we'll need to deliver the sad news. Give me that vitality. Hey, Exit, how's it going, man? So glad you guys are here. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. Now we're going to start plugging up our endurance. Oh, that's alright. Thank you guys so much for the hosts. Really, just thank you so much for being here, though. Always thrilled to see and hear from you guys. Oh, Greyrot, I keep forgetting.
Oh, hello, you're back. And in one piece. Well...
MC says the Dark Souls crew is complete. Agreed. Yes. Okay, so we'll hand over Loretta's bone.
Heavens. She was already dead. Thank you. I'm not surprised, though. Almost a relief, really. You can keep the ring. As... well... a little trinket of thanks, I suppose.
Alright.
You can keep as...
I think that will allow us to progress his quest line later, once we clear the undead settlement, question mark. He sells like this basic armor that I think the warrior would have started off or the soldier would have started Dark Souls 1 with, but it's not really worth the soul investment right now. Once we expand his inventory, he gets his hands on some really cool stuff.
And stay safe. Oh, this place is a bore. What good is thievery if you've nowhere to go?
Just keep thinking those deep thoughts, Greyrot. We'll see you. Okay, all of that settled, it's time to turn back to the undead settlement to carry on to its boss battle in time. As I said before, there's actually a lot of stuff we have to do in and around this area. There's a score of NPCs to meet, including one of our magic trainers, who's just a little bit out of the way, and a couple of Dark Souls 1 throwbacks. Generally speaking, this game has far fewer areas than previous entries did, but what areas are present are just a bit larger, especially in the first half of the game. Things become more linear and a bit easier to navigate later on, but right now we're going to be seeing a lot, and I mean a lot, of the same couple of areas. And I believe, much like the Cleric Beast in Bloodborne, the boss, so like the big encounter that all of this area is building up to, is totally optional. I mean, we definitely want to complete it because we get a really cool tool to be used back at Firelink Shrine if we do, but it's not mandatory. Is that correct? Now, last time we explored this entire area, or the optional path. Exit says, yeah, okay, good, that's what I thought. There's no real reason to pass it up, though, because, oh my god, I keep forgetting that that one always follows us from the procession. Let's not attract the thralls, shall we? Oh, I didn't want to kick. You always have to be so careful with your controls in Dark Souls, because anytime you really would not want to, if your finger is on the control stick, your character will kick. Exit asks, mound makers or no? Yeah, we got the Covenant item. I'm just doing my best not to equip it, at least until we complete another quest line. I think, I could be wrong, but there is a specific NPC with a really cool little quest line who will effectively lock you out if you ever join either the Mound Makers or one other Covenant before or during said quest line. It may just be during, but I mean, we're probably not going to be using the Mound Makers anyway. There's only one Covenant in this game that I find super duper interesting, and it's a Covenant I've never actually joined before. At launch, Dark Souls 3 had fewer Covenants than any other entry in the series, and it also had more duplicate Covenants than any other entry, which I don't think had any or many whatsoever. And by that I mean there are several Covenants in this game that perform similar, if not identical, functions to one another. Oh, one moment, I'm sorry, if you heard the alarm, blood glucose sensor going off, I'm going to have a snack real quick. Give me about 2 minutes, guys, I'll be right back with you. Sorry for the disruption so early on, but it is what it is. Alright, so sorry about that. We should be good now, fingers crossed. It's one of the weird side effects of, like, prolonged quarantine and the alterations to physical activity that invariably come along with it. Blood glucose has just been all over the place, despite my best efforts to manage it. Okay, we've done most everything that is exclusive to that path already, I believe. So now we're going to head back over here. To the... I guess we could say the primary path through the Undead Settlement. And make sure we collect everything over here. This time we can take out these thralls before they get the drop on it. Well, he says. As it happens, they're very fast. I mean, they look silly, but believe it or not, these little guys are some of the most dangerous enemies in the early game. Except they have an unfortunate tendency to do that to themselves. I have to... See, now Bloodborne's gotten in my head, and I'm thinking, okay, that shield, we don't have that shield, that's not a thing, but we do have the shield. I just have to remember to use it. So these red-eyed peasants with the sickles, I think there's only a couple of them in the entire zone, or in the entire game. Interesting that they'd be put here, though. Blunt damage is probably your best bet for dealing with these cages. MC says, I've been hyped all day for Blades. I have a base character that can go so many ways depending on the crew we pick. Again, I really need to dig deep into the game stuff. But I'm interested or excited as well, as this will be my first experience with anything like that. Come on. Come on, little fella. There you go. Now, y'all may notice that there is an evangelist slinging, like, more, plague swarm spells at us off in the distance. That's gonna be a problem. But, oh, what's this? Why, it's yet another hidden path. I really appreciate the Undead Settlement because it's just chock full of these. And what we want to do here is just walk off the side. I know it doesn't seem like the smartest thing in the world to do, but it gets us around the Evangelist, gets us some Titanite, or gets us closer to the Evangelist at any rate. Oof. Yeah, we definitely want to work on that stamina. The more I play, we gonna need a couple more points off over there. Okay, so she's still going to be firing at us. That's fine. It's fine. Oh no, she fell off the balcony. What is it with the pathfinding in this area? Just enemies throwing themselves off ledges and falling off of bridges and flinging themselves through fences all over the damn place. I mean, I'm not complaining, but very strange. Oh yeah, so her spells inflict bleed, as do her melee attacks. Kind of weird, because the organization or religion she's affiliated with doesn't have a whole lot to do with blood or anything. It's just, I guess, an interesting way to design an early game enemy with status ailment. Or 4 status ailments. Okay, did you drop anything? No, that's a shame. Believe it or not, the Evangelist's armor is really good for this stage of the game. In my experience, anyway. Now, there's 2 more bonfires we can find around here. And she says that her organization seems more affiliated with burgers and fries. No, she's actually not that big, if you notice, and especially if we get the armor ourselves. Like, the chest piece, and kind of leggings with this armor or metal reinforcement around the side is just very big. The Evangelists are just extraordinarily, like, kind of broad-shouldered, kind of bigger people. Not exactly, like, overweight or something. They're just like so many characters in the Dark Souls world, they're huge. Oh, remember the Mound Makers guy? The one that inducted us into the Covenant? He's gonna try and kill us now, and I've got no Estus. That's great, it's fine. Can I light this, though? Please tell me I can light this. Yes, I can. Alright, Sir Hodrick, give me just a minute. We can deal with you now. Notice that one of the big guys with the machetes, like the one that transported us to Hodrick's little altar, is present here. Now those variants like that, they are enemies. We'll have to keep an eye out for them. Now, for this stage of the game, even by the standards of like NPC opponents, Hodrick has a lot of health. Like a whole lot of health. And is not that bad of a combatant, honestly. He also knows pyromancy. And oh god, we've aggroed this thing. No. This is not how I was intending this to go. Okay, we can handle this. Thankfully, his little orb should heal us too. It's an AoE heal, I believe. Oh, come on now. Fortunately, he doesn't seem to have just phenomenal poise. He's quite fond of healing himself, though, isn't he? Oh, yeah, of course. If we could get a backstab or two in on him, he'd be toast, but I'm just a little anxious about that. Oh my god, would you go away? This isn't even the area you're supposed to be patrolling. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, we got this. Alright, well... if you're going to be healing, I will too. Okay, is that Machete Hollow, like, now coded to follow him or something when he invades? Because I'm not used to it being this aggressive. Okay. Jesus. Well, I was not intending the stream to start like this, y'all. He's using a... no, he keeps wanting to heal himself for some reason. Oh, come on. Oh, for Christ's sake. He's good. He's fighting exactly the way I would, cowering behind an enemy. Yeah, I'm not familiar with this at all. Usually this guy, A, isn't that aggressive, but B, doesn't team up with Hodrick like this. Seth says, y'all. I know, it's one of those verbal tics you just pick up, living in a southern family. There we go. And he dropped literal trash. That's fine. We can get their machetes at some point, which would be really good, but for a strength character anyway. But I don't think they have armor or anything else you can get, those guys. Oh, that's right. I forgot. When you're two-handing a weapon, especially if it's a sword and you go into like the special L2 stance, I think your poise like shoots through the roof. Oh my god. He's somehow going to pull this out, isn't he? There we go, we bled him. And he used an Estus flask. Jesus H, come on, man. Two? Two of them? Okay. What? Are you kidding me? Oh, no, 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 no. Okay. Remember, this is the very first NPC invader they want you to go up against. What? Again? Okay. Okay, we don't have much of a chance, but we do have, like, a shadow of a chance. And there we go. Yeah. Seth asks, what is your PS handle? Let me see. It should be... It's been ages since I looked at this, I don't want to tell you wrong. Overanalyst with 2 N's, because apparently I can't spell it properly as the, like, auto sensor on, like, the PlayStation Network system picks up the string of characters that forms the word anal and finds that, like vulgar. So we had to have 2 N's. Alright, let's try this again. Coupled with a little experiment. I want to see if the big machete guy is just going to keep on advancing. Yo, it looks like he is. MC says you could say that PS Network is overanalyzing nicknames. Yeah, it's that coupled with, like, the glories of automated algorithms. Okay, we might be able to handle this now. So, Hodrick's whole thing, really, and this is not the only time we'll be fighting him in this game, really is parries. As NPCs go, he's really, really good at parrying. Oh, Exit, you sent a friend request? Thanks a lot, man. I will be sure to pop out and accept that just as soon as we're done here. For good or for ill. No, you don't! God damn it! And remember, this guy, in all honesty, is one of our friends. He has nothing against us, this is just what he does. I love, like, the violent effect on the Phantom, though. Come on, bleed! Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, Sev says on PSN there's actually someone called the Overanalyst. That must have been it. That, okay. I thought it was an issue with, like, their like, auto-censor, but okay, that makes more sense. PSN lied to me about anal. How could they? How could they? Oh my god. I am so sorry about this, like, the entire first little segment of our stream is just going to be me fighting this one NPC, but for Christ's sakes, he won't go down! And he seems to have, like, stamina just up the ass. There we go! Exit says you never lie about anal. Yeah, or MC says, or that nickname existed before, like, an automated sensor was used. One or the other. So by defeating Hodrick, we get, as means of, like, a prize, a vertebral shackle, one of the special items we can use to level up the Mound Maker's Covenant. A special bone collected by members of the Covenant of Mound Makers, discovered in the corpses of their victims. Only one such bone is found in the vertebrae, and the Mound Makers believe it to be a shackle of the gods. In their minds, each victim is another connection, an addition to the family. To be fair, that has, like, no real deeper lore implications that I'm aware of. The Mound Makers are just quite literally criminally insane. And, are just in this to off as many people as they can to collect those vertebral shackles. There's no actual higher purpose to what they're doing. Kind of like a villainous variant of the, or a villainous interpretation of the League from Bloodborne. So the Evangelists hit really hard, but their attacks are pretty easily dodged for the most part. Titanite, okay, so it's not part of her armor set or her mace, but still pretty good. Oh right, exit. Let me take care of that friend request, man. There we go. Thanks a lot for that, man. Okay, so with Hodrick out of the way, I don't think there's going to be any more really tough encounters in the Undead Settlement. I could be wrong, if there's something I'm forgetting. But there's nothing quite that daunting for a character going for this kind of build. Oh, hello. Oh, I bet you have treasure in there, don't you? Let's try out our battle axe just to see how much damage it'll do. About the same. Oh, I'm getting a very, very Central Yharnam vibe out of these guys. Their weapons, as I said on yesterday's stream, really aren't quite as bad as you think they'd be. Oh, we got a whip. That's actually not so bad. I've seen people do some really cool things with whip builds in the second or third games. They're really hard to use effectively, but like if you have just the right build for it, you can do some pretty cool things with them. Just kill this guy for some extra souls, because why not? At least that death to Hodrick should give us one more level from Yol. Oh yeah, speaking of which, by interacting with Yol and taking that free level from him, we got, this, a dark sigil. A black, gaping hole in the flesh that resembles the brand of an undead. The darkness of humanity seeps from this bottomless, pitch-black hole, the gap filled by the accumulation of the curse. The dark sigil will never heal, but there's a tale told of a firekeeper who returned from the abyss and brought great comfort to a bearer of the curse. Basically, all this does is indicate the extent to which, purely from a narrative standpoint, your character is hollowed. If it has any greater impact or effect on the game's mechanics, I don't know. Exit says there's a cream for that, though. If only. If only. I think the dark sign, when it's actually shown, and sometimes it's like on characters' models, sometimes it's not, is supposed to be like on the back near the shoulder blades or like on the chest, somewhere thereabouts. It's very inconsistent, but it is there. You'll see here we have a locked door we'll need to open from the other side, I believe. Nice little shortcut for us we can access before too long. And there's one more bonfire we're going to go back for, but not before we clear out everything around here, including the boss. Because we're not too far off now. Seth says 2 squats for a locked door. Ah, but I did not press the X button and actually confirm that it was locked. Because I know. Seriously, if I get like a face cam or something though, with my proper streaming setup, which I should have in the works by Tuesday-ish, I might do something like that. Why not? It'd be fun and a good way to get some exercise while I do something that I continue to delude myself into thinking is productive. 3, 4... Seth says you cheated the system. Well, of course. I have a degree in political science. That's what we do. Seth says, yep, that's what I call it too. Exercise. Yeah, I mean... Hey, you need all you can get right now. Yeah? Okay, so if we go out here, you may notice a very large number of javelins protruding from the ground. We're gonna want to move very quickly through here. This whole area is going to be constantly bombarded, and any living thing, ourselves included, are fair game. Exit says Seth's ass could cut class now. Man, it's been ages since I worked out really properly. I was going to the gym like a fiend, like as recently as a year ago, but then like my exercise dropped off a bit when I started grad school, and then the outbreak happened, and it's just like, oh, nothing happens anymore. Okay. Notice all of these are like, all of these souls are centered around this tree. And they have a hell of a radius, those arrows. Do be careful. Now, once we take a white branch, it should be easier for us to avoid arrow fire once we get to the other side of this little cathedral. The white branch, if you recall, allows us to, like, disguise ourselves. Jesus! That one came out fast. Oh, we got a hat. Very nice. Exit says you mean as a starter gift? No, we did not get one as a starter gift. We went for the fire bombs. But, or no, yeah, that's when you can get one. Oh my god. I'm so unused to being quite this frail. Oh yeah, there is another one of these guys, too. We will be able to control that arrow fire a bit later on. We'll actually be able to stop it entirely. That's when we'll go back and loot the rest of this little area. As it says, if you pick the branch as your starter gift, he's instantly your friend. Oh, cool. I don't know that I ever went for that before, so... It'd be helpful, though. I just go for the fire bombs because I always have trouble with the Pus of Man. We got a great scythe, which is at best a mediocre scythe. Attacks with this large scythe, normally used for crop harvesting, are effective at breaking past shields. That is true. The magnificent sharp curved blade instills fear in opponents. Perhaps it's their survival instinct at work. Okie dokie. We should be ready to forge onward, and interestingly enough, for maybe the first time in the Dark Souls trilogy at the very least, we are in the boss arena, and we open a shortcut directly to the arena from within. Now we're going to give this boss the old college try, despite not having full health or Estus, because, it hits hard, but it's not that tough to dodge. Exit says, don't forget the mound makers. Oh, no, we already got them. We already got them. See? We're good. So, here's our boss arena, and it really is quite lovely. There's all of these peasants providing, or like, worshipping something. And it's like, gee, I wonder what the boss is. It might be somewhat surprising, but this was one of the two bosses that featured really prominently in promotional materials and footage, along with a boss we'll be seeing at the end of the game's second act. And it's a really cool one that operates according to some kind of unique mechanics. So this thing, that tree, is going to wake up the closer we get to it. I want to thin out just a couple of the peasants first. I think they will keep spawning at first, but we don't want to deal with too many of these. Come on now. Come on. That's the way. That and more souls is always a good thing to have. again, that pitchfork is not a great weapon, but it's got some insane reach on it. So this is the curse-rotted Greatwood. It's amazing, it's got incredible visual design, I just love it to death. So, we can't harm it, well, all that much conventionally. Don't worry about the peasants, it'll take care of them itself. It has all of these pustules that look a bit like mottled eggs all around its body, and we will need to destroy these pustules one little group at a time in order to deal any significant damage to it. It can spit out or exude like some acidic sap like that, so we kind of want to stay out of that if we can help it. It's got a very ponderous moveset, but can be extremely dangerous. Because again, it hits like a truck. Made of wood. I guess we'll just go for the crotch pustules first. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Might be better to use the axe for this, honestly. Ooh. See, look at the health that took off. And it sends it absolutely reeling. Phase 2. So, you may remember this as the same area where we met Holy Knight Hodrick and were inducted into the Mound Makers. This is what I meant, MC, when I said this area is a bit different than some stuff we saw in Dark Souls 2, as a very different kind of context and purpose. Now there's a giant pallid hand growing out of its trunk that we can also attack for additional damage, not quite as much damage, but we can. Oh, back it goes. Just aim for whatever pustules you can reach. Uh-oh, here we go again. It's a very slow, ponderous fight, but again, you do have to be kind of careful, because it can absolutely ruin you with physical attacks should they actually connect. And it does have a grab with the giant pallid hand. Something we might want to watch out for. No, like that! No, no! No, 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 no! Oh, God! Yeah, there we are. Seth says, I just now imagine men having a gigantic hand in their trunk, and honestly, I'm going celibate. It's... yeah, it's a weird fight. Like, I'm not entirely sure what the whole point of the hand in the crotch is, save that it's kind of oddly disturbing in that way that Dark Souls enjoys being. I really like the design of the fight, though. Like, visually it's very striking, mechanically it's kind of unique and interesting. And Exit asks, does it give you Michael Jackson vibes, Seth? Well, we, okay, so, first off, you just ruined Billie Jean for me. Thank you very much for that. Secondly, we ran into some wolves that were oddly reminiscent of Michael Jackson in a stream a couple months ago. Like, I think it was one of those roguelike games, Nuclear Throne, had these weird robotic wolves as standard enemies, yeah? And for whatever reason, oh my god, the sound effects they decided to use for the wolf's howls it sounded just like a compressed Michael Jackson scream. And I think it might have actually been. I don't know how nobody else, like, has taken notice of or made videos on that, but it was like, what? Exit says you can actually kill it in 12 seconds. I've seen some builds, like more powerful builds especially, just destroy its pustules, so I wouldn't doubt that. Wouldn't doubt that at all. But how, is there like a specific strategy or something like that? We can just two-hand our weapon for the entire fight, as a shield ain't gonna do as much good against this thing. Oh, we actually knocked him out of his attack animation with a roll. That's kind of new, isn't it? Oh my god! I've never seen that attack before. Oh, I have seen that though, that's great. It does its level best to attempt a combat roll. Oh, there's not any on that hand. That's more like it. I'm used to him just laying all of these villagers out flat right quick. Jesus Christ, I'm doing terribly at this. Okay, there we go, there we go. And certain pustules are more durable than others. I think the larger the cluster, generally the more HP it would have. Zephyrs, do you want some tips from me? If you got anything you think would be helpful, sure. It's just been so long since I've played this game, I need to reacclimate myself to the way it feels. I've never had significant trouble with this one before. Okay, so kill him and don't die. That's... okay, that is great. That's exactly what I was doing wrong. Oh lord. Okay, so, obviously, destroying all the pustules near the hand give you some really phenomenal damage on this sucker. Problem is, that puts you right in grabbing range. Come on. Now the hand itself is more vulnerable than the... well, actually, it takes more damage per hit than the pustules do before they break. Really, our big problem here is that we've just got a very frail build right now. Like this, I'm not gonna lie, this character, the way I built them, damn it, the way I built them is weak. Really, really weak. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. This is one of the easiest fights in the game, believe it or not. We're just so squishy, it ain't going well. Be damn close. Oh wait, my souls, I don't care if I die, just got to bank them souls. See, the real challenge here is just getting the boss to a state where it's properly vulnerable. If we could just attack this thing by, or deal damage by attacking it anywhere, this fight would actually be insanely easy due to how kind of ponderous it is and its moveset is. But the fact that you're having to put yourself out there and be present in very specific places actually makes what would be a very simple fight kind of challenging. And I like that. Come on, buddy. That is its favorite attack, I find, when you're in close range, because it acts as really effective zone denial around the creature's entire body. Uh-oh, here it comes. Yep. There we go! That's more like it now. Seth says, oh, and use fire paper. That's right, they gave you like a dozen charcoal pine resin. I hardly ever use pine resin in this series, believe it or not. Seth says 0 deaths. Yes, that's right. No, 0 deaths. Came in with no Estus, just finish that. Quick as you like, of course. Exit says, try this boss as a sorcery specialist. Lots of tears will be shed then. Oh, yeah, I bet. Because I want to assume, given the nature of this creature, it's also resistant to magic, isn't it? MC says, along with Get Good. Exit says, Fire Paper and Sellsword Twin Blades. Yeah. And Getting Good intensifies. I wish. Okay. We did get 2 really cool items there, along with a bonfire that will give us, like, very easy access to the Mound Maker's altar, which, I'll tell you what, well, no, we won't do that. It says, yeah, and you can't lock on to, like, the pus bags. Yeah, no, that'd be hell for a sorcery build. I imagine clerics have an easier time, because not only do they start with a pretty solid weapon, a lot of miracles that deal damage have, like, pretty significant AoEs, yeah? Speaking of, yeah, you know what? I'm thinking, instead of my battle axe, oh no, that would have us just heavy enough. Alright, we got 2 really cool things, and I want to take some time to look at each of them. First off is the soul, or I guess it'd be more appropriate to say souls of the rotted greatwood. Look at this. This is a very interesting looking soul, the likes of which we never see anywhere else in the series. It's like a collection of small souls. Ever since its establishment, all manner of curses have managed to seep into the undead settlement. The worst of them were sealed away inside a spirit tree, but eventually the curses took their toll. So this is literally X-Death from Final Fantasy V that we just fought and killed, except kind of sillier looking altogether, and just short of a comic relief boss. And then we got this thing, the really cool transposing kiln. An old transposing kiln from Corland, crafted with stitch crystal lizard hide. Give to Ludleth, the Lord of Cinder, to conduct soul transposition. This kiln can transpose twisted souls to craft special items with their concentrated essence, deemed forbidden by those unable to make proper use of it. This is the means by which Ludleth, the one Lord of Cinder who's very friendly to us and is perfectly happy to do his job back in the Firelink Shrine, can be of use to us. He will allow us to transpose boss souls into unique weapons and armor, just like Strayed or Arnifex would do in the second game. You have a pretty wide variety of things you can exchange boss souls for in this game, including for the first time rings, I think. I don't think any of them give you armor, but a couple of them will give you rings, if you are so inclined. So let's drop this off with our buddy here.
Fret not. My feet are here firmly planted, for I am a lord, and this is my throne.
Yeah, Exit says Vort gives a ring. That's right. And it's a pretty good one, I find.
Transposing kiln in thy possession. Seen better days, but methinks it shall suffice. Now, bring to me a twisted soul. Transposition is the art of extracting and coalescing the essence of a soul. In transposing a twisted soul, its true power transferred to thee. Thy purpose is to seek lords and slay them. What's to fear? in a little transposition.
Right, exactly. So let's get right into it. We have 4 options, 3 weapons, 1 ring, and interestingly in this game, when bosses, as most of them do, give you multiple options for transposition, oftentimes one of them will be free and the other or others will not. I think, well no, in this case Vorts are both free and the Rotted Great Woods aren't, but a lot of them are free for whatever reason. Not entirely sure why that is. Maybe some of these are quote-unquote more canonical choices for certain bosses, but let's take a look at what we have. For Vort, we can get his Great Hammer, that really big frost-shrouded mace I think Seth used for the majority of her playthrough. The Great Hammer wielded by Vort, the Outrider Knight of the Boreal Valley. Weapon is imbued with frost and causes frostbite. Frost accumulates in the body, causing frostbite, which saps one's health, lowers absorption, and allows stamina recovery. Yeah, Vort's Great Hammer. I'm honestly never gone, like, all in on a strength build, but even when I tried, like, okay, let's use a bigger weapon, I could never get this one to work properly. Yeah, Seth says for a big chunk, yeah, then Exit made me use the hammer. Yeah, Smoth's hammer, which is, honestly, in my opinion, it's a really powerful weapon objectively, but I'm not super keen on it either. Exit says, too bad she hates hammers. The only hammer I ever used for a protracted period in one of these games was, I think, a Morning Star early on during my first playthrough of Dark Souls 1. And we can get the Pontiff's Left Eye Ring from Vort's Soul as well, which looks just absolutely gorgeous. I love, like, the engravings around the ocular-looking jewel in the center there. A bewitched ring that Pontiff Sulivan bestowed upon his knights. Recovers HP with successive attacks. Knights who peer into the black orb are lured into battles of death, transformed into frenzied beasts. No wonder the Pontiff only provides these rings to those dispatched to foreign lands. Pontiff Sulivan is effectively a religious zealot and fairy king in this game who serves as the closest thing to an active, like, quote-unquote humanoid antagonist, even though we'll kill him off maybe about halfway through the game. In that regard, he's kind of the narrative successor to Mikolash, the Old Iron King, and Seath the Scaleless. And he's a really interesting character, I think. Seth says I couldn't see the screen because of Smoth's hammer. Yeah, no, it's the head of the hammer is way too big. If the head were just a little bit larger than the actual, like heft or the shaft of the hammer, it'd be workable. Like, Vort's Great Hammer isn't too big, I don't think, but Smoth's hammer is massive. And from the Soul of the Rotted Greatwood, we can get the Hollow Slayer Greatsword, which looks a bit like Lucatiel's Greatsword, doesn't it? Yes, and in fact it is. Listen to this. Greatsword used for a lifetime by a masked knight. Harbors the fears that lurk within the minds of Hollows, and is particularly effective against them. Bestowed to a proper Mira Knight long ago. Two-handed to execute special sword techniques. That's really cool. A straight-up Dark Souls 2 throwback. That's pretty rare in this game, and nice to see. Or we could go for Arster's Spear, which is a really cool weapon, I think. One of the curses that festered within the belly of the Greatwood, and a terrible weapon favored by Earl Arster the Impaler of Karim. He was mentioned in the first game a lot. The spear is enwreathed in rotten, heavily poisonous meat. Defeating foes restores HP. How do you like that? And its special ability can, like, penetrate shields and armor. I'm gonna be honest with you, this is a really good weapon. And it scales with dexterity. We're definitely gonna get that. And we'll get Vort's Great Hammer just so I can show it off later. I'll always go for the cool-looking things over useful things if it's not a weapon I'm going to be using for the most part anyway. Right, so how about that spear? Yeah, check this out. This is gnarly. It actually looks like the head of a much larger lance, doesn't it? I've never actually used this for a protracted period during my playthroughs, so why don't we try it out and see what we can do with it? Not gonna ask him to upgrade us quite yet.
Heavens.
Okay, so he's not really in the mood to talk, understandably so. Oh, but we can get, since we died, because we're so good at the game, and I did this entirely on purpose, we can get some more souls, or more levels from Yol. Probably want to do that straight away.
I would then show there.
think even if you have multiple levels queued up from him, you have to acquire them one at a time. We'll start dumping points into our endurance for a little while.
Be safe, champion of Ash.
That says you can make shish kebab with that spear. You really could, and in fact, if you look at its model, it looks like somebody already tried and failed miserably. Quite like the look of the spear. It looks like you could also use it pretty well as like a slashing weapon.
Yet to give in, eh? Good. The firekeeper must be twitching with delight. But what do you really know about these Lords of Cinder? These supposed legends? Let's take Aldrich for one. A right and proper cleric. Only he developed a habit of devouring men. He ate so many that he bloated like a drowned pig, then softened into sludge. So they stuck him in the Cathedral of the Deep, and they made him a Lord of Cinder, not for virtue, but for might, such as a lord, I suppose. But here I ask, do we have a sodding chance? At the foot of Lothric Castle.
Exit says that's the poorest attempt at chicken satay ever. Yeah, you know what? That does kind of remind me of a really poor satay skewer now. And
you should see where it leads.
he asked, did you explain yet how all these NPCs are bound to the Lords of Cinder? Not quite yet. We're going to get more into that probably when we run into our first Lord, which we should do before the night's up.
Then you're a brasher lad than I thought. You can make better use of this.
Thank you very much.
Not now I've flown the coop.
Ah, poor guy. But yeah, as you may have noticed, we're nowhere near done with the Undead Settlement, unfortunately. It is one of the largest zones in the game. Okay, good night, Seth. Thanks so much for stopping by. Always glad to see you.
Very well. Then touch the darkness within me. Take note.
Okay, we got 4 levels queued up. Let me see. 2 of them should go into endurance, and why don't we start building up our vigor in the same direction? We just gotta make ourselves a little bit more survivable right now, I feel.
Farewell, Ashen One. May the...
Alright. Oh, wait. We also have an Estus Shard. I think just the one, right? Yes, for now. So we'll finish up everything at the Undead Settlement, kill ourselves enough times to take care of Yoel's questline. I think we need to get 3 more levels out of him to effectively complete his role in a much larger questline. And then we will head on to the next area. And from this point on, after Undead Settlement, areas do get a bit shorter and more manageable. They never hit quite that short and sweet level they were at for, say, Dark Souls 2. But the really huge open areas in the game, I think once we're through with the settlement. Alright, take care, Exit. Always glad to hear from you, man. Always appreciate the encouragement and the patronage. Thanks so much, y'all. Have a good night. As you see, we need special Titanite scales to upgrade boss weapons, just like Twinkling Titanite in earlier games. You can get those primarily from the big overgrown crystal lizards that we ain't about to mess with. I guess we can go ahead and upgrade our katana. I mean, you know, might as well for now. Oh, we need a few more souls. Well, as it would happen, we've got plenty. There we go, just enough.
Just good. What neat.
What do we think about the Curse Rotted Greatwood fight, folks? I thought it was a pretty good, really interesting one that changed things up really nicely between phases. Did something different with the game's base mechanics. I quite liked it. I also enjoy, like, the concept of a very powerful, kind of intimidating being that is inherently quite goofy in its presentation and its kind of movement. Like, it should be intimidating, but it's just kind of silly. I really dig that. Now, okay, so first things first, we're going to go get that additional bonfire, which should also take us to our first magic trainer. That's gonna be, like a must-get for us. Because magic in Dark Souls 3, as it happens, may not be quite as powerful or prominent as it was in Souls 1, but it's really, really, really good. Let's try out our new spear on these guys, shall we? Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, and something I should have mentioned earlier, but didn't. The Pontiff's Eye Ring, you know, that restores HP with successive attacks. If that effect sounds familiar, it should. It's the rally effect from Bloodborne, converted into ring form, which I think is a great way of bringing that mechanic over, and kind of making it fit a Dark Souls design aesthetic. It's not permanent, it's not always active. It's something you can use for your character at the cost of not getting other benefits from rings, if you're so inclined. Alright. Let's also remember that you can use spears from behind shields, if you would like. And we would definitely like. Oh, hell. Alright, down we go one more time. Oh, and somebody fell off the edge again. Just another day in the undead settlement. Sorry, 2 people fell off the edge. Okay. Not complaining. We also upgraded the katana twice. Oh, we have not equipped the katana. That's a problem. Oh! Too slow that time. Dang it. Spears, of course, have exceptional critical attacks. Anything that would be designed principally for thrusting usually does. So I think daggers, thrusting swords, spears, and lances have, like, across the board the best visceral attacks, or, like, backstabs and parries and things like that in the entire game. Could be wrong, but I think that's how it goes. These guys use the same exact... oh, we killed him because the spear poisoned him, right on. Do these guys use the same exact greatsword as Hodrick did? Like kind of the serrated bladed flamberge or something like that? Did we ever come over here? No, we didn't. That's right, this is a totally different path. All of these guys with their fire bombs and explosives and stuff that's going to make us die. We just need to get right on around them and away from this guy with the giant pot. So, in my opinion, they're not quite as hard to dodge as the variety, well, unless you get cocky and try to use charge attacks exclusively, as the variety, god damn it, with the machete. But if you encounter them at a distance, they can just up and chuck the giant pots they're carrying right at your head. And of course, those deal absurd amounts of damage. Now we just need to figure out a way around to the fire bombers, but first, what does this poor soul have? Aside from some health to give us through our spear. The fire clutch ring increases fire damage done, right? But also fire damage taken, maybe? Kinda, sorta? Right, so we want to drop down here, and this will take us, I think, not only to the optional bonfire, but to, the roofs, where we can attack the fire bombers properly. Titanite, nice. Nice. Let's check out that ring we got real quick, though. Increases fire attack, but compromises, like all damage absorption. Okie dokie. Ring depicting a hand grasping a red stone increases fire attack, but compromises damage absorption. An old fable in Londor claims that the lure of the clutch ring reaches out to the crestfallen, who might otherwise be overcome by despair. Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and set up our bonfire, but since we've got all of our Estus, we don't really need to, or almost all of our Estus, we don't really need to use it quite yet. We could just carry on without resetting everything. Does that corpse have anything? I don't think so. They are fast. That's one thing I'll give these peasants. They, like a lot of enemies in this game, are pretty fast. Oh, but down it goes. I'll be right with you. Here's our magic trainer, but first let's pick up the hand axe. Why not? A crude hand axe that serves both as a weapon and a tool of many uses. Favored by pyromancers of the Great Swamp, this axe has a short range, but only moderate weight and reasonable damage. Easily wielded and more powerful than it appears. All broadly true, but let's go ahead and get our katana back on it. Oh, that makes us fat roll, doesn't it? Okay, we can unequip the Tearstone ring and be just fine. There we go. So yes, this is our pyromancy trainer.
Unkindled, are we? Welcome to my abode. I am Cornix, an old pyromancer. A crow in his cage, as you see now. But here we are, an encounter for the ages. I hear the unkindled make for fine vessels. Care to learn some pyromancies from this old man?
Absolutely.
Most wise. A chance encounter should not be squandered. To reiterate, I am Cornix of the Great Swamp. The pleasure is mine.
Now, just by recruiting him, we somehow free him from his cage and teleport him back to Firelink Shrine. I don't know, I guess we've got like a special satchel of emergency homeward bones or something. Now, with him freed, I think we've done all we can or really need to do, or need to do right here. Our next stop will be that massive cathedral. Well, no, we were in that cathedral. That's where we fought the Great Wood. We want to go to that tower and work our way up around that kind of cliff top development. Kudos to this guy, just kind of hanging out doing his thing. We definitely want to examine this. Yeah, Soul of an Unknown Traveler. That was removed via, like, a vice or something? Jeez. A lot of atmosphere and a lot of personality in this area. Nothing over there, right? Nothing over there. And she says extension. This is a cool area, it really is, but it's very, very, very large with a whole lot of weird little things to do and explore. Large soul of a deserted corpse. There is a thrall crawling out of the ground. That is not supposed to happen. He was meant to, like, be attached to the cliffside and kind of pull himself up. But I guess pathfinding with the really uneven terrain here isn't consistently great. Generally, in the series, it's very good. We've got a procession here, or in the area, comprising dogs and hollows being led by an evangelist. We ought to look out for her. Yeah, this is what Dark Souls 3 dogs can do to you. Just non-stop attacks. Non-friggin' stop. No! Also, our Estus Flask, even by Dark Souls standards, if you notice, this base Estus Flask doesn't heal for jack. Oh, we got their hammer, which, if we were strength build, actually wouldn't be so bad at this stage. Notice that same exact attack was used by the Fishmen or the Pelagics in Bloodborne's DLC, which is a-okay, because I absolutely adored those enemies. The Shark Giants, considerably less so, but the baseline Fishman enemies, those guys were great. I do love all these beautiful flowers that seem to be growing around the Great Wood. Or what once was the Great Wood at this point. Now, those pot carriers that I said would use them as projectiles, just about all of them present in the game are over that way, which unfortunately is our ultimate destination. So, first off, let's open us up a shortcut. On through the sewers. With a bunch of rats, of course. Glad to see that the rats are still getting work. Pretty sure there's a giant rat back in that cloud bank, or fog bank, because of course there would be. A Kestis, a fist weapon, not like super duper great, but certainly not bad. Yep, here it is. Sup, buddy? Okay, how are we gonna do this? Well, we can stun it. Okay, yeah, that wasn't too bad. And it gives us a free ring, the Bloodbite ring. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Which simply increases bleed resistance, I want to say. Notice we're getting a whole lot of, like, elemental and status effect resistance rings early on. Not sure whether that was like willful intentional design or just the way things happen to go, but they seem to really be wanting to round out your like conditional defenses. That just opened up a gate, of course, back to the other bonfire. And he says this game wants you to blank. Yeah, no, there are a lot of things that will either strain your eyes to notice, or will jump out at you from across corner or around corners and the like. Oh, Crystal Lizard, hello. Let's can we make it before it disappears? Yes, we can. There we go, what you got for us? Sharp gem. Okay. That increases a weapon's dex scaling, while decreasing its base damage slightly, I think. So if, for whatever reason, you wanted to, like, wield a two-handed greatsword but make it a dex weapon, there's a way to do that. Now that we've got our heals topped back off, let's go fight our way through this one more time, and then on through, like, the Pot Brigade. Which sounds like a Z-list college ska band, but is, in actuality, a number of large hollows who are probably going to absolutely demolish us. Yeah, there's the Evangelist. We probably won't have to deal with her, though. Oh, down he goes. He's probably not dead. Well, maybe. Oh, no. No, he dead. What is it with enemies in this area? Oh no, that one survived. They may have both survived. Oh man. Well, we got an ember at least. I'm pretty sure, like, pathfinding has killed more enemies than I have. Hello? Oh, just in time, I see. Every time. That'll do it, though. And yeah, we definitely need to upgrade this Estus Flask ASAP, because it's not healing for a damn thing, is it? Large soul of a deserted corpse. Nice. That'll get us some levels. Random dog. That'll get us some health. Second random dog. Come on. Oh, alluring skulls. Situationally, those can be very useful, so sure, we'll go ahead and take them. And so we come to this very gorgeous-looking bell tower, where we can meet a couple, we'll say associates. I'm very loath to say friend in the case of this first guy, Aegon of Karim, wearing some absolutely gorgeous armor that looks like it was plucked from the walls of a cathedral or something, right?
Another one of those unkindled, are you? All you faceless
I'll be right
undead,
back, guys. Give me like 90
as if
seconds.
You deserve respect.
Enjoy this dialogue.
No matter. Heed my words. If you've any sense, you go find a coffin to huddle up inside. You here, in this land of hollows. You're like a frail maiden on the front lines. If, like the others, you're fool enough to play the champion, then go on ahead. Traipse right past the abandoned church. You'll face death. And it won't be pretty. Enough death to leave you broken. Time after time. Yeah.
Alright, we're back. Again, I'm sorry, it's just blood sugar stuff. It's one of those days. But, as you can tell, Aegon isn't terribly fond of us or this place or anything, nor will any of that change. He's going to be an almost constant presence back at Firelink Shrine, but I think he's never really going to like us, per se. He's got a bit more to say.
If, like the others, you're
Or no.
to play the
No, he
champion,
doesn't. My bad.
Then go on.
But he's guarding an NPC we actually want to talk to and recruit. She is our second magic trainer. And we need to find a way to set her free. That we won't do quite yet. First things first, we're going to explore the bell tower. This has 3 different levels we can kind of explore. And each of them has something pretty significant. This first one has a great surprise. I genuinely enjoy this moment. Look who it is. Well, it's not the same exact guy, but it may as well be. This is, I think, Siegward of Katarina. This is good fan service. I like the Onion Knight. I'll be perfectly honest about my biases. I like the Onion Knight, and I'm glad he's back.
Pardon me, I was absorbed in thought. I am Siegward of Katarina. To be honest, I'm in a bit of a pickle. Have you ever
Slightly less cool that he has almost the same exact dialogue as the other guy to begin. That's a little much.
If I'm not mistaken, they come from this tower. Whoever it is, I'm sure I can talk some sense into them. But I have to find a way up. And that's just the trouble. This lift only goes down, you see, and... Well, that doesn't get me anywhere.
But notice he sent up a second lift, just like the one, just like the way the surgical altar worked in
This
Bloodborne.
lift With a little warming, I've got...
So, we just start the lift heading down, and we can summon the second level. Ta-da!
This lift with...
Dude, you're looking at the answer. What? Okay, well, we'll ride the lift up and attempt to stop the arrows. As, like he said, the arrows are in fact being fired from this tower. Soul of a nameless soldier. But by whom, you may ask? Well, you remember Hawkeye Goff from, like, the Artorias DLC? It's more or less just like that. It's a big old friendly giant. And a killer view of the area. Again, that's going to be a destination we arrive at before too terribly long. Really looking forward to that stage.
Who are you? I help anytime.
Yeah, so he gives us a white branch.
I help.
And now he will no longer aim for us when we're in range of his arrows. He'll still aim for enemies, meaning we can get hit by AoEs, but I think he shouldn't attack us any more. Fingers crossed. Is there anything out there that we might want to explore or collect? Let me double check. There's a lot of stuff in and around this tower. Our next stop will be the bottom of the tower, and then we'll go to kind of the mid-level. Because we can get something really good from the bottom. Oh no, he already made his way up to the mid-level. Good for him. Somehow he figured it out by the time we got back down. Siegward's questline is actually very involved and will actually end in him helping us fight one particular boss later on down the line. Not as a phantom either, like he will be physically present with us in the boss arena. So, what's down here, you may ask? Well, one foreboding hall into a second foreboding hall, where one of Pontiff Sullivan's Outrider Knights is waiting, another Irithilian, so like one of the Dark Fairies, with an Ember. And just like Vort, this guy is really, really unpredictable in his moveset, kind of bestial. Whew. Oh, frostbite, yeah. I could have told you that was coming. There's only a few of these in the entire game, and they all drop very special, very good weapons. MC says this game's fan service can cause overdose. Yeah, it really can. And now, man, you're a game designer as well, so tell me it's not just my nostalgia goggles and bias for Dark Souls 2 and kind of outrage over the fact it isn't as well represented here. Like, this much fan service overall feels like it hampers the design of what otherwise would be a really great game, right? Like, that's not just me. Speaking of really great, though, we just got one of my favorite weapons in the game, the Irithilian Straight Sword. Straight Sword bestowed upon the Outrider Knights of the Boreal Valley. This weapon is enshrouded in frost and causes frostbite. Every Outrider Knight one day devolves into a beast, constantly hounded by Pontiff Sullivan's black eyes. Like, again, anytime we, like, deal with anything involving Irithyll or the Pontiff or Saint Aldrich, like the Lord of Cinder, who as, oh god, what do they call him? Come on, I should know this. There's one of them in every single game. Basically, the dejected warrior. Crestfallen. The Crestfallen warrior told us was like this cannibal cleric who literally ate so many people and became so fat he just exploded into a massive sentient mass of tar. All of that stuff is so cool, but it's constantly being undermined with somebody jingling their keys in your face and saying, hey, remember Dark Souls 1? You guys like Dark Souls 1, don't you? I know that's the one you like, so look, it's all the people and the weapons from Dark Souls 1, just the way they were in that game, because we know you guys get really uncomfortable when we change gears. MC says, I want to love this game, but the constant reminders of Dark Souls 1 are just making my stomach hurt. Yeah. And it'd be one thing if, like, these were fan-favorite, like, legacy characters. Like, the Onion Knight looking similar to and sounding similar to the Onion Knight from Dark Souls 1 is fine, because A, he wasn't a major part of that game, and B, it was something everybody liked, haha, that's fine. But, especially in the game's second act, as you'll see, the fan service gets friggin' ridiculous. Now, we're going to have to roll off of the elevator here. And that's, y'all know how well I do with that. And we're actually going to help this sucker fight a mini-boss.
Oh, don't disappear like that. You had me downright worried. But thanks to you, an epiphany has struck me square in the head. I've unraveled the riddle of this inscrutable lift.
I do genuinely really like this guy.
On some days, I begin to doubt myself. I went up the tower, so I thought, then somehow ended up here. I'm not exactly
He somehow
sure
fell
what
down
happened.
here, is what this means.
Anyhow, do you see that? That humongous beast? I'm no coward and I've a steady hand, but
That,
thing makes my
friends,
skin
is a
crawl.
demon. In the world of Dark Souls 3, there are very few genuine demons left in the world, and those that are slowly dying out. These fire demons, you can find a couple of them throughout the game, and they're genuinely really, really powerful, like, intimidating foes. And we don't have to fight either of them alone.
I could try talking some sense
We're going to
into
team
him.
up with Siegvard to try and take this one
No,
down.
I think not. He's far too overheated. I've got to use my head and think. I could...
So if we go charging in, he will, because he is just such a nice guy and like a genuinely noble knight, move in to help us no matter what. Now, let's see if we can avoid an Eileen the Crow situation and actually have him survive his quest line this time. MC says Blades has demons with a very interesting place in the world. So does another Victorian horror-esque game series, the Sunless Sea universe or Fallen London universe. In that game, the demons of hell have an empire of their own, and one of their colonies is a client state of, like, 19th century London. Oh my god. So I really like the design of these demons. He looks very much like a natural thing. Oh my god. Oh my god. My health. Jesus Christ, my health. Now he's really strong and can hold his own. Which is what he may well have to do here. Notice that the demon burns hotter and hotter the weaker it gets. Look at that attack, man. Badass, right? Got him! Now see that is a really cool demon. MC says they're not really evil, but more like representations of elements. So, it's just a very weird name for, like, nature spirits, then.
That was quite a
That's pretty cool.
But you mustn't get in over your head. We Unkindled must put our duties first. But, for the moment, we've a toast to make.
And look, he gives us a drink as, like, a thanks.
My sword and our victory together. Long may the sun shine.
He says, cackling and pointing at bodies impaled next to rocks. MC says, I mean, it gets muddled because many things are called demons, like in the game world, I guess, yeah.
I'm going to have the only thing to do, really, after a nice toast.
And he just passes right the hell out. I love this guy, I do. I really, really do. We got the Zieg Brawl from him, which is a special restorative item. Special brew of Siegfried of Katarina, perfect for travel in its jolly barrel mug. Restores HP and temporarily boosts frost resistance. Leave it to Siegfried to discover a drink that even an undead can enjoy. Perhaps his long years spent undead have left him wanting to drain a cup or two and revel as if he were still among the living. We're gonna go ahead and use that now, because we kinda need the health. There we go. It's not quite as much as I'd like, but it'll do. And we can explore just a little bit more of this area. And here they come, right? No? I was thinking some of those cages were bound to drop down, but I guess not. Oh no, these do, though. Right. The Earthilian Straight Sword, thankfully, is actually very, very light. Come on now. Damn it. There we go, thank you. More alluring skulls, I mean, okay. We'll take them. Okay. So what do we have here? Well, we got another one of those. We've got dogs. Oh no. We can almost one-shot now. Almost. Any of these guys have any items? No? More dogs. As long as you can get a dog in, like, close quarters, it shouldn't be too dangerous. This isn't a mimic chest, I don't think, but we always want to be sure. MC says the Lord of Demons is more akin to Titans, but were created when the universe coalesced. I say. Oh god, even more of them. Come on, Battle Axe, don't fail me now. They constantly deal very, very low contact damage, so we definitely want to finish them from a distance and in one hit. Bim, bam, boom. Human pine resin. This is what I'm talking about, y'all. This is my kind of consumable. Dig this. Charcoal pine resin rotted with human bodily fluids. Temporarily applies dark to right-hand weapon. Normally used in the undead settlement for preservation and burials, but can mature into this state, becoming a valuable substance used in a certain ceremony, often seen for trade at exorbitant prices. But up here, we've got a pair of evangelists. We're probably gonna die here, if I'm being real. But we'll still give it the old college try. Come on, there you go. There she is. She tried to, like, whack me with the holy text.
Cleanse the bastard's curse.
Cleanse the bastard's curse. No idea what that means, but doesn't sound good. Thank you for leaving yourself wide open. The katanas really aren't the best for, like, critical hits and backstabs, but they get the job done. Still haven't gotten any of their stuff. That's such a shame. Definitely need to invest some points in luck if and when we can, or when we can afford to. Levels in this game seem to be easier to afford than they were in Bloodborne, but still not quite as accessible as in Dark Souls 1 or 2. So you really got to think about where you want to put those points, or if you're me, just kind of throw them about all willy-nilly and be grateful that this game has a respec option. So up here, in the most perilously located, like, skylight of all time, we find Flynn's Ring, which is... that might be a Dark Souls 2 thing? I don't know. Lowering your equip load increases attack. Yeah, Ring of Flynn, the eulogized thief. Lowering equip load increases attack power. Flynn fought with the wind on his side, and was a hero among the weak and poor. Yet even his admirers know that it was little more than an idyllic fable. Aw, poor guy. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I talked about this on stream before, but we got, hold on, just making sure. Okay, just got an email. It wasn't anything super important. Two really cool-looking games were officially announced and plied with trailers and the like recently. One of them is Warner Brothers Games Montreal's Gotham Knights, a really cool-looking sort of spin-off of the Batman Arkham series that allows up to 2-player co-op, but seems to be like kind of optimized as a single-player experience. Thank God it's not going to be a games as a service or anything like that. You can play as, I think, Robin, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Batgirl, each with their own like combat style and gadgets and all of that. What little they showed of the gameplay actually looks really solid to me. And then Rocksteady Studios, the developers of the Batman Arkham series themselves, announced formally an open-world game set in their version of Metropolis called Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which will see players tasked with doing just that. As Harley Quinn, the... is it Killer Shark, I think? Deadshot, and one more character I can't for the life remember. Oh, hey, we just got some good armor and something called a Pale Tongue. Now, what is a Pale Tongue? This is like the token of spite you would get when you kill a player you invade in Dark Souls 2. Proof of a Red Orb invader's victory over a host of embers. Claiming tongues as trophies was originally the practice of an infamous troop of invaders who offered them to their speechless goddess. And we got the Northerners armor set that I think the Warrior starts with. Gloves of a stalwart northern warrior, made of thick leather. In addition to their protection from blunt strikes, they excel at retaining heat, providing good resistance to the cold. Leather boots lined with fur. We are going to have to change some of our equipment set after this. Oh, the Irithyll sword is so good, but we're probably going to want to prioritize the katana for now. But anyhow, both of those games, both of those DC games look, or DC-based games look really, really good. And I suspect we're going to need some, like, really high-quality superhero games to wash the taste of Marvel's Avengers out of our mouths. Which, again, I'd love to remind you guys is coming in apparently just a few weeks to this channel. Heaven help us all. I'm just hoping we get like some really cool supervillains in there. I know they've got a unique take on MODOK, Abomination's in there, Taskmaster, all of whom are pretty good picks, I think. But God, it's a Marvel-based game as a service. I'm super apprehensive. MC says one game I'm looking forward to is Stray. I may not be familiar with that. Can you give us a little bit more, like info? I think we've got everything from around here, so now we're going to have to perilously walk our way over to this tower. Oh, jeez. Homeward Bones, good. MC says playing as a cat in a world where humans become robots. Oh! Or became robots. That sounds very charming, actually. Always love a good cat. We may or may not be able to survive this. And we can't. We had just little health enough to die from the fall damage. That's okay. MC posts a quote, "Lost alone and separated from family, a stray cat must untangle an ancient mystery to escape a long-forgotten cyber city and find the way home." Oh, the setting sounds fascinating. Really cool, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so real quick, before we do anything else, we're going to head back to see Yol, so we can get another level since we died. Then we'll go get our souls in the items that were, like, piled up at the bottom of that tower. Fortunately, the fire demon does not respawn. They're unique enemies. You know what the Northerner armor kind of reminds me of? Hold on, let the model on the helmet actually load. It reminds me of the Old Knight's armor from Dark Souls 2, doesn't it? Just a little bit? Or is that just like the helmet I'm thinking of? No, probably mainly the helmet, because like that armor set had massive plates in addition to all the chain. But it looks really cool regardless.
Ah, there you are.
We can continue Greyrot's quest line now.
You know I'm a petty thief. Well, perhaps I'll go on the prowl. Everyone's dead or hollowed away anyway, right? So I might as well fetch some weapons or treasure for you. Well, what do you say?
Sure.
Thank you. You will not be disappointed. Greyrat the thief was once a well-known
So now he'll be
name.
gone for a while, I think, until we take down our next boss. Then he'll come back with a much larger inventory.
Greyrat. Goodbye, Deuce.
Alrighty. Now let's pick up a level from Yol. Then go get all of our friggin' souls back. I know we can't yet.
But I'm weeping.
Oh, he might only give us levels once every couple of deaths. If that's the case, we're going to have to, like, throw ourselves off the edge of Firelink Shrine many, many times, which is what a lot of people do, in order to advance his quest line post-haste. So we'll finish up Undead Settlement, and then come back to do that. Safest way, or quickest way to get there would be probably Cliff Underside, I think. I think the first day of Gamescom was today, wasn't it? I'll have to check and see what kind of announcements and trailer footage was shown off tonight. Hopefully we got something good. MC said, yeah, today. Right on. Okay, so let's hoof it right on back to our souls. MC says I don't really pay attention to conferences and the like. I usually don't either, but like, things have been so dull lately, I've just needed some kind of excitement in my life. Oh my god. Took a pot to the dome, that ain't great. And B, I mainly, like, check out all the announcements and things like that a couple days after just to see, like, okay, what's coming out. That's the only way I can really keep up to date with anything. Oh, man. Wrong one. Happen to drop a great machete for us, buddy? No? No? Alright. Well, I tried. I do appreciate now that when you wear certain weapons, they'll actually have holsters or sheaths present on your character model, and when you don't have that item, when you have it equipped, but say you're two-handing the implement in your opposite hand, you will actually sheath it. That's really cool. MC says, excitement's coming with blades, fortunately. Yeah, true. You got a lot of excitement with ReZero yesterday. Excitement and trauma. They released a new episode or something? Come on. Whoop. Actually managed that twice in a row. I feel much prouder than I probably should. So let's run back to that tower. Being especially wary of the dogs. Dodging the evangelists shouldn't be too hard. The dogs definitely will be. Oh, well, I say that. Fortunately, evangelists are not fast, in the least. I think they can run, but just very, very slowly. So we're good. MC says, yeah, the new season's running strong, and it's brutal. Oh, just what people need now, right? I'm glad you're enjoying it, though. Oh, man! It's Lucatiel's armor set. The mirror set. I love the look of this stuff. And the Chloranthy ring. You know, the thing that increases our stamina regen? This old ring is named for its decorative green blossom, but its luster is long since faded. Raises stamina recovery speed. We're putting that on and never taking it off. And then the Mirror gloves. Garb worn by Mirror knights sent on journeys. These soft deerskin gloves are bestowed only upon proven knights. Knights travel afar to fulfill their sacred duties, but few are ever to deliver on their vows. Few are ever able to deliver on their vows. Now we're talking. There we go, baby. Well, it was well worth the trip, wasn't it? MC says it's one of the most complex anime that I can find. Deep story, but the emotional content doesn't lag behind, both in good ways and bad. Nice, nice. I'm almost done with Arrow. I'm about to enter the 8th and final season, which is much shorter than the others. Like, it was a half season, basically. And apparently they just jumped the shark altogether, and we go from, like, probably the most grounded and kind of mundane of the DC televised universe shows to one where there's a bunch of space travel and fighting aliens and all that, which is A-okay. I actually really like that in my superhero fiction. But it's not what that show seemed to have been about. We'll see. We'll see. I'm hopeful, but it seems like they're honestly just running out of ideas, or they ran out of ideas, which is fine. They've got other programs. You got Supergirl, you've got Legends of Tomorrow, you've got Batwoman now, which people say is really good. You've got The Flash. All of those are fine for examining more fantastical concepts. Go away, flies. Oh my god. So, have you noticed something about Dark Souls 3 that wasn't really present in 1 or 2 that maybe they learned from Bloodborne? All enemies seem to have like 90-hit combos. Like just non-stop combos. I'm noticing that for the first time now playing these back to back to back. MC says somehow my mind goes back to the Cowboys versus Aliens movie. Oh man, that was... It was so bad. It was so bad, but like kind of endearing in that you could tell everybody involved had just the time of their life making it. But it was very bad. Anything? Nope. We'll get that outfit one of these days. Yeah, no, it does seem like, especially coming to this after Bloodborne, a lot of, like, the standard enemies do have too many, like, really fast, frantic attacks in their standard combos. I'm not such a big fan of that. MCS ever watched Person of Interest? Yeah. I really liked the show, and I watched it. I think I was down to the second to last season when I again got busy or distracted or something and just haven't gone back to it yet. But it's a really good little show. It's got a great main cast. One of whom actually played a season-wide villain in one of the best seasons of Arrow, coincidentally. MC says, and yeah, enemies are just constant combos to annoy in-group. Yeah. Okay, so he's actually not... Hey, we got the pitchfork, the four-pronged plow, or prow. Plow. We've also got, like, the headstones everywhere, like they were in Yharnam. I think that's a pretty nice touch. Oh, here we've got the cleric set. MC says, Season 3, A Person of Interest has a shift in storytelling. I think that might have been the last one or the second to last one I watched, maybe? I definitely remember watching Season 3. Ah, here we go. We got some ashes. Ashes can be used or traded into the Shrine Handmaiden back at Firelink Shrine, and she will expand her inventory of, like, available items for every set of ashes you bring back. The umbral ash of a resident of the undead settlement who made a living burying corpses. With this, the Shrine Handmaid will prepare new items. MC says, but even post-Season 3, Person of Interest remains excellent. Yeah, it's a really good show. As that kind of, like, serious, gritty drama goes, which usually isn't exactly my bag, it's very well made. Very well made. Alright, so friends, we're going to have to... Oh, I was going to say jump over there, but yeah, we are. Whew. MC says, remember the phone ringing? I think so, yeah. Also, check this out. Undead bone shards. we can use these to power up our Estus flask, which we desperately need. As our Estus, as I said, it doesn't seem to heal near as much as the baseline flask did in 1 or 2. Now that taken care of. We can head back to the shrine and level up. Oh, are you kidding me? Really? Seeing that big old wood shield taped to their, or chained to their back keeps them from being backstabbed. Completely. I don't think you can backstab them, nor can you parry them. Alright. Let's just teleport to the closest bonfire, pick our souls up. Dilapidated bridge, there you go. MCS, did I ever watch any of the Stargates? I watched a very little bit of SG-1 when I was younger. None of the rest, though. I know a couple people who swear by him, but I was always like a Star Trek guy. I mean, I even thought that Star Trek Enterprise was a really good show for what it was, and was canceled way too soon. I've not seen the new Star Trek programs, though. Discovery and Picard. Really want to check those out. There we go. Okay. Now we should be good. We're still not done here, of course, but we should be good to head back and level up a couple times. MC says, never really watched Star Trek, but I did see all of Stargate. A lot of people who were into, like, sci-fi TV at that time kind of got really into one or the other. I don't know many folks who, like, at least back when they were both airing, were really, really fond of, or kept up with both.
Oh, I would...
There we go. Now we can draw out that strength. Which here means one more point in vigor. Why not?
Be safe.
Now, we're going to turn in our Umbral Ash real quick. MC says Stargate Universe was being released at the same time as Person of Interest. That was the last one, right?
Ah, how gracious let. I only have a...
Okay, what does she have for us now? Well, a new key, the Grave Key. Key to a door in the Undead Settlement sewer. We'll want that. Wait. Yes, we will. Why not? The grave, which no longer receives visitors, was once the site of statue of Velka, goddess of sin, also from the first game, and was believed to pardon wrongdoing and lift curses. We'll take that, because the alternative to getting down there is to take a very chancy dive straight off of a cliff. MC says, yeah, that was the one the fans complained deeply about.
Welcome, speak. Very well, then.
For Star Trek, that would be Enterprise. Okay, we've got two more. Let's keep going on decks till we hit maybe around 25 or 30, then start working on intelligence. How does that sound?
Farewell, Ashen Maiden.
Now that we've got next to no souls, what we're going to do is so we can complete Yoel's quest line, just kill ourselves a bunch of times. Oh, are you kidding me? MC says, I also watched Farscape and Firefly. Yeah, those fandoms have some serious overlap. I know this is kind of sort of sacrilege. I have a friend who's huge into Firefly. And, like, we watched the first few episodes together. Great voice clip to play after maybe a 5 foot or like an 8 foot fall. And honestly, I didn't really like. I could see the appeal, but I didn't really like the program. I've never been fond of the terribly like dark and grimy, quote unquote realistic, like sci-fi devoid of aliens or more fantastical elements or things like that. That's never been me. I could definitely see why that appeals to a lot of people, but just not me. Farscape I never saw. Never saw Farscape, but I've heard great things. We've got to do this just a few more times, as strange as it sounds. Sorry, give me one more minute. Again, just one of those days the old blood glucose is driving you crazy. I'll be right back with y'all, and then we'll actually make some progress. Alright. Now we're back. MC says Farscape is either a very light space adventure with some deeper moments or a very deep adventure depending on your reading. I see. And MC says Firefly is a show I have a hard time watching even though I liked it for what it was. That seems to be a pretty common experience, I think. I've just been losing myself in these great DC superhero shows, man. Okay. Now we should have almost everything or all the deaths we need to get our final 2 levels from Yoel. And now you guys remember what Yoel wanted, right? Like what his real purpose is, what he ultimately wants out of this existence as a pilgrim of Londor.
Oh, then shall we bear?
Okay, why don't we use you to pick up a couple more points in vitality? Well, no. Endurance. No, sorry, I'm so indecisive here. We could use him to get the first couple levels of intelligence. That kind of makes sense. You have anything special to give us? Oh no, folks, don't do that in Dark Souls 3. Because that was a Dark Souls 2 thing, you see. So off we go again. Love that soundbite, y'all, every time. MC says I'm rereading some of Blade's content. Is it just the one source book, or are there several we'll have to peruse? Or can peruse, I should say. So one interesting thing to note in Dark Souls 3 is the more we die, the more our character will appear physically hollowed. Now we can reverse the physical, if not the spiritual effects of this, back where else at the Undead Settlement. Oh, MC says there's only the one. Okay.
I would do. Then show there.
Alright, Yol, give us one more point of intelligence.
All wills.
Oh, and he's got new dialogue now.
You have attained ample strength. All will soon be clear, my good lord. As I have said, I'm weep hitherto.
OMC says there's version 8.1, 8.1 special, and 8.2. 8.2 just changes a minor rule. Oh, that's fine then. Yeah, I'll tuck into that tonight, because I've been hankering for some pleasure reading. So, if we rest at the bonfire... Well, no, actually I'll carry on with the game's story. Or carry on with our adventures in the settlement. And then we'll continue with Yol's storyline. MC says we don't play the special. Oh, that's just fine. We could rock this cleric hat if we hated ourselves. Let's get that Lothric Knight hat back on. And head right on back to the dilapidated bridge. One more time. We're going to use that grave key to open that door at the bottom of the sewer. Alright. MC says the maker of Blades did some good work at fleshing out the world, but leaving enough vagueness to build around. That's one approach, or you could do, like a lot of companies also take a similar approach to, say, like what Paizo and Pathfinder did, where they have a very clearly defined world and just give you carte blanche early on to change some or any of it. Like, hey, none of this is canon in your game, do what you want. But, like, for a small indie RPG, that sounds like a really good approach. Now, if we crack open the grave key, we'll actually head down to the bottom of that ditch beneath the bridge with all the pot throwers. And here, we have a loincloth that we're never going to wear because it's not good armor, and a statue of Velka, the goddess of sin, again from Dark Souls 1. Now, we can request absolution if we sin against other players to get the bounties off our head, dissolution to reverse the physical effects of our hollowing. We don't want to do that quite yet, and we can't afford it anyway. And that's it. But it's nice and conveniently located, not too far from a bonfire. What we want to do now, really, is explore the rest of this dungeon, or this little sewer, and take on, of course, the enemies present herein. Including skeletons! They're back! And, they're about as weak as they were in Dark Souls 2, nowhere near as strong as they were in the first game. They look just as cool, though. Soul of an Unknown Traveler. Nice, nice. You can still break them apart with strong attacks, that's always good to see. MC says, I mean, none of it needs to be canon. Oh my god, I forgot that these guys were down here. Says I forgot, or I mean, none of it needs to be canon per se. In the last campaign, I created a minor faction for my playthrough. I'm gonna be interested to see how that game goes, because it sounds like everybody's leaning towards cult as a... Well, again, I don't really know how the game works, but like as a faction. And yeah, that sounds good to me. I always like the Eldritch and the Arcane, so... Hello, Crystal Lizard. Don't run from us, Crystal Lizard. There we go. What gem do you drop? Yeah, now we get the special upgrade Titanite from the big ones, the Titanite scales, I think. Oh, and look who it is. Yeah, no, we ain't messing with that. MC says we're having some indecision between Bravos and Cult. Yeah, I'll look at the specifics, but I think you may as well just put me down as Cult. Because I really like those kinds of stories. Okay. We've got an item there. Let's go ahead and shoot that down. Oh, a blessed red and white shield. Okay, +1. That's not terrible, honestly. Do you know what is terrible? Rats. Rats, when they do not have a king we can work for. That just makes them useless rats. Oh, what does this one have? Soul of a deserted corpse? Okay. And a saint's talisman, useful for casting miracles. In this game, because of course, we can't just leave anything Dark Souls 2 did intact, chimes are barely present. They can still be used to cast miracles when you find them, but for the most part you'll be using talismans, like you did in Dark Souls 1. MC says the nice thing about crews is that each has its own play style. Well, I would imagine if you got different goals and different mechanics, that makes sense.
Who is there?
So let's recruit our miracle trainer.
Someone there? Anyone? Oh, please, whoever you are, touch me. The dark surrounds me, nibbles at my flesh. Little creatures, they never stop biting. So please, hold out your hand and touch me.
Yeah, so she is a cleric from Karim, partnered with Aegon, and she's blind. In order for her to teach us certain miracles, we'll need to find Braille books scattered throughout the world that have, like, special legends and folk tales inscribed therein.
And I am not entirely...
She's one of the kindest characters in the game, and we can go out of our way to make sure that she gets a very, very happy resolution to her quest line, though it's not entirely obvious how to do that for new players, I would think.
I am Irina of Karim. I came to this land so that I might be a firekeeper. Your touch has freed me from the darkness. You are a champion, then. I am weak and unfit to tend the flames. But if it would not trouble you, might I enter into your service instead?
Yeah, absolutely. We now have recruited 2 out of 4 magic trainers we can find throughout the game. Notice the sorcery trainer is the big one we still haven't tracked down. And off she goes. One moment, y'all. I'm sorry for all the stops and starts, just there's a lot going on today. Alright, so now that we've got Irina, I'm sure Aegon's just going to be thrilled, right?
You've gone and rescued her, have you? How very quaint. Pitying creatures that are beyond help. Yeah. Very well. I'm sick of looking after her at any rate. I am Egon, a knight of Karim. I am allied to you for as long as you assure the girl's safety. And only for that long. What's the matter? My terms are very simple.
He's got beautiful armor, doesn't he?
For as long and own.
Yep, and that's all we'll get out of those two. All in all, a pretty successful and, believe it or not, relatively quick run-through of the undead settlement. There's just a whole hell of a lot here, isn't there? But with that done, we are finally ready to, with one more stop by Firelink Shrine to power up our Estus Flask and conclude Yoel's storyline, take on the next zone or two, depending on how long we can go today. And how long my voice holds out for. Like I said, I have, across the span of this week, I will have been in 11 Zoom meetings, Monday to Friday. Not per day, I mean like total, but still, God almighty. MC says, once we set our crew and characters, I'll suggest that everyone work on how our group formed. Sure. Not a problem. So welcome to a beautiful little area, the Road of Sacrifices. MC says that's a lot of zoom. It's entirely too much zoom. Entirely too much zoom. The Road of Sacrifices is a really nice, comparatively short area with a lot of spell books and scrolls and things like that, cool treasures to find, and a very interesting boss once again. Notice, so far, we've only had one real dual boss fight against Udix Gundyr. The others have all offered something interesting and unique to us at some point or in some way or another. So, if we'll go check on Yoel, we'll see that, well, he finally got his wish. He is no longer bound by the undead curse. He served his purpose and he's dead. Not gone, I don't think, but no longer in this pitiful little shell. And a new NPC has appeared to take his place, another one of my favorites. And if you notice, doesn't it look like she's wearing Queen Annalise's helmet from Bloodborne?
Oh, prithee, art thou good Yoel's master? I am Uria of Londor, a close friend of his. Thanks to thee, Yoel's soul is redeemed. Allow me to express my gratitude in his stead. Another matter. That a lord art thou not? Bearer of the dark sigil, and our Lord of Hollows. For the time thou remainst our Lord, we of Londor shall serve thee. And I, of course, am also thine.
Yeah, so Uria is actually one of the leaders of Londor. In fact, I think maybe the leader of Londor, the head of state. And she believes that with our power to, command the Lords of Cinder and open the way to the First Flame, we can make a better world, a stronger world for the Hallowed, and act as the Lord of Hollows. And guess what? That's exactly what we're going to do.
thou to look there for?
So she sells the same basic sorceries that Yol did, in addition to the Dark Hand, that special grapple move / shield that the Dark Wraiths used. Weapon that allows its wielder to evoke an art unique to Londor, the land of the Hollow. It is also said to be an ancient relic of a primordial serpent. The Dark Hand mercilessly saps the essence of its victims, and can also double as a special shield. Cannot be used two-handed. In addition, she sells a couple rings that are mostly just for aesthetic stuff, and a Braille tome that we could hand to Irina in order to get her to teach us certain miracles. In this case, it's the Londor Braille tome. A Braille tome of Londor, first spoken by Liliane of the Sable Church. Give this to a storyteller to learn miracles of Londor. This is a forbidden tome, as it, here's the important bit, offers salvation to all hollows, and conversely curses all things living. I don't know whether or not that's accurate, or if that's just more of Gwen's dogma, but it is true that we probably, even though we're going to buy this for dirt cheap, we do not want Irina to read this.
Till we meet again, may the dark sigil guide thee.
There are certain tomes you want her to read and certain tomes you don't. If you give her any of the tomes that fall into the latter category, you'll effectively be locked out of her good ending.
Oh, Champion of Ash. Welcome back. I was not meant to be a firekeeper, but I am honored to serve you beside the bonfire.
Notice how she looks almost identical to the cleric from the first game.
My gratitude lies with them and with you. I am yours now. Your wish is my command.
So we can learn some basic miracles from her, but we kind of don't want to. Or we can buy, I think just this ring that allows attunement of additional spells. 300 souls, I'll go ahead and take it. Sure.
Have a pleasant journey, Champion of Ash. I pray for your safety.
Thank you, thank you. We should be fine. And Aegon should be somewhere around here as well, right? At least I thought so. Or no, he might show up sporadically. Some characters come and go from Firelink Shrine as the story progresses. Or as their stories progress. Now let's burn that undead bone ash to get a stronger Estus flask, finally, and head to a brand new area at long last. There's a couple different types of standard humanoid enemies here. First and foremost, do you happen to remember the crow demons from the Painted World of Ariamis? The, really cool-looking pallid humanoid enemies with the very, very, inhuman, raven's heads? Or crow's heads, I suppose. Well, they're back. Apparently these are the same thing. I think these look much cooler, if we're being honest. These are Corvians. When they see us, they'll scream and begin, deploying their wings. And trust me, we don't actually want to fight one of these guys because as it happens, their weapons are really good and they hit pretty hard. Fortunately, it takes so long for many of them to actually get combat ready that we can cut them down pretty easily. They do have ranged combat specialists as well. I think we can get all of their weapons. They're just quite rare drops. Yeah, and their casters specialize in poison, mainly. I think they're called storytellers, like the spellcasters are. Now, as seems to kind of be the Dark Souls 3 design ethos, there are, of course, plenty of optional paths and loot and things like that scattered all around. Nothing here, though, right? This is quite a beautiful area. It's not all that complicated or intricately designed. It's just a nice little transitional zone. We got the Brigand Axe. Oh, and it is... Oh my god, no. Do you guys remember Maneater Mildred? You know, the invader with the butcher's knife and the bag on her head from the first Dark Souls? Well, time for another throwback. Did she fall off the edge? You kidding me? Okay. Looks like I can't defeat a lot of these enemies, but, like, pathfinding sure can. Oh, and we got the Brigand Twin Daggers, in addition to the Brigand Armor, which is all alright. The axe is a pretty decent, like, strength weapon, but the Twin Daggers are quite interesting. These paired daggers are the preferred weapons of the Brigands of a distant land. When two-handed, the wielder holds a blade in each hand, allowing for divergent attacks that include left-handed moves. Like so. Observe. You know, kind of like those really challenging phantoms from the, old Chasm of the Abyss. MC says, yep, the AI falling off cliffs, and they really wanted fan service. Yes, they did. It's kind of embarrassing beyond a point, isn't it? Like, because all the original ideas... do you agree, at least with this premise, the bosses in this game, from their visual design to their mechanics, seem to be the series' strongest overall? Like, really cool and compelling, and, like, when they go... I don't even want to say totally original, but when they're not just, like, hitting fan service quite so hard, the team behind this game could do some phenomenal things. A Shriving Stone, we don't need that, but good to have. Titanite, nice, nice. And again, this just might be my bias, but like, the smattering of Dark Souls 2 fan service isn't that egregious, but the Dark Souls 1 fan service is frankly ridiculous. MC says, remove like all the petting in this game would be the best Dark Souls. Yeah, and again, in your hands, like playing it, it is easily the best Dark Souls. Like, no contest. Oh, hell, now we actually have to fight some of them. They are very susceptible to backstabs, though. Their attacks have pretty healthy recovery times. Storytellers have really gnarly-looking staves, don't they? Now, what's up here? Oh, another ember. Good. We'll want as many of those as we can carry. That one has a dagger, a poisoned dagger, I believe, either poison or toxic. We also want to go down there, of course. This is possible, believe it or not. Trying to remember the best way to do that. Ah, right here, of course. We've got another hollow full of stuff, and dogs. Oh, now, of course the dog couldn't leap right off over the edge, could it? Oh, that's a slightly tougher dog than the others. We got Morn's Ring. The Braille Divine Tome of Kareem, which Arena definitely can read. Both great things. Let's check out that Divine Tome. Learn High Miracles of Kareem. Filled with advanced miracles. In the Way of White, there's a tradition of placing great faith in the words of the blind, and Braille tomes are not unusual. Again, I really like the system of finding lore objects out in the world that you can bring back to, like, static magic trainers, and gain spells and sorceries actually relevant to whatever lore object you just picked up. It works great for world building. So this really sinister-looking thing actually boosts the power of miracles. A malformed ring given to Knights of Kareem boosts miracles. Morn served the goddess Catha, and later became an apostle of the Archbishop. They labored together to provide comfort to the suffering. Not something we'll need, but for like a cleric build, that'd be really useful. Oh, it's a red-eyed version. But the red eyes are just as vulnerable to backstabs as the regulars are. So, down he goes. And is that everything here? It might be. Okay, so, believe it or not, it's already bonfire time, I think. And we'll meet a couple very interesting familiar faces. Well, kinda, sorta familiar faces. One of them is, one of them isn't. So this big guy is Horus the Hushed, who gives us a Covenant item, because why not? The Blue Sentinels Covenant. Actually returning from Dark Souls 2. Pledge oneself to the Blue Sentinels Covenant. Faded sheepskin parchment depicting the Dark Moon and a sword. Equipped to pledge oneself to the Blue Sentinels Covenant. When a member of the Way of Blue is threatened by a dark spirit, the Blue Sentinels, in compliance with an ancient accord, assume the form of blue spirits and help to root out the invader. Yeah, sure, why not? This is Henri of Astora. She is a very, very plot-critical NPC, and completing her questline in a certain way is essential to getting the Londor ending.
How do you do? I am Henri of Astora, unkindled like you. This is Horace, a friend and travelling companion. Are you too in search of the Lords of Cinder? We are well along the road of sacrifices. Below us is the Crucifixion Woods. Beyond the flooded woods lies Farron Keep, home of the Undead Legion. Further yet is the Cathedral of the Deep. We seek the cathedral, home of the grim Aldrich. We may go our separate ways now, but we are both seekers of lords. The next time we cross paths, one may find the other in a time of need. May the flames guide your way. Oh,
yes, thank you very much.
He's not very talkative, but don't think ill of him. He's an upstanding,
She's a kind, honest, very, very forthright NPC.
Without his help, I would have cursed.
And she is absolutely essential to us becoming the Lord of Hollows.
We are well along the beyond. We make the next. May the flame.
We'll go ahead and have a rest at this bonfire. And yeah, they said right over here something called the Crucifixion Woods. And goodness gracious, y'all, this area is tough. Loaded with loot, but super difficult to, like, totally clear, like, get everything from. So you've got these, hollows trying to impale us. Don't have that much health, but man can they deal damage. That's threat number one. When you get out into the marsh, you've got some really nasty characters running about. Hey, look, it's the little poison ants from Dark Souls 2. Again, not just because it's Dark Souls 2, but I don't mind this, since these guys weren't ubiquitous in that game. It's just cool to see them again. I think this might be the only place they show up in this game as well. Oh my god, so many. There we go. Titanite, okay, it was worth it. Titanite seems just a bit harder to come by in this game, doesn't it? Well, so far. That certainly won't be the case for the entire game, but... I really like the Earthel sword because it's extremely fast and has a good, like, burst for most of its attacks. But man, our katana just deals more damage with our stats being what they are. Oh my god, no. No, 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 no. Oh god, there's I forgot there were this many of them. Jesus Christ. Also, that's not crucifixion, that's impalement. Wrong, like, really arcane, or, sorry, antiquated, barbaric form of execution. More Titanite, okay, I'll take it. Now, this water, especially if we wade deep enough into it, will impair our movement, which is going to make this next bit really tough. So there's two sizes of crab present in this swamp. Little crab, big crab. Little crab ain't nothing to worry about. Big crab will absolutely destroy us. NC says, who needs wood when you could throw someone off a cliff? I mean, to be fair, we've not thrown anyone off a cliff. We've just convinced several different people and creatures to throw themselves off cliffs. My favorite is still... Oh god, it's a crucified beast. These guys can get pretty nasty. But, my favorite is when we got that thrall to just, like, throw itself straight through a fence. Ember, thank you. Those guys hit really hard, but fortunately it looks like we can stun lock them pretty easily. We want to stay away from big crab just as long as we can, because big crab will ruin our day. Well, I say big crab, there's two of them, but any big crabs. Avoid large crabs. Five-hit combo, jeez. Now we've cleared out this little side pathway, which is kind of important, because, hey, look who's in here! Because, you know, why not? Why wouldn't he be, right? It's only been a few millennia. Yes, friends, it's a Black Knight again. Like, why? Why are they here? This is the greatsword variant, I think. And with that fan service slain, we're, either it didn't drop anything or it didn't load up because it died, mid-wall, but we're able to get some loot here. The sellsword armor that we started the game with, so, like, that's where you could find that class's gear had you not begun the game with it. It's pretty cool. We've already found the cleric's starting armor set. MC says even if that Black Knight time traveled, they wouldn't guard the area. Well, this is, as we will see, exactly where Lordran was millennia ago. So I guess they kind of sort of would, but you're right. They have no reason to be there short of fan service. Of course they don't. Certainly not just as pristine as they appeared in Dark Souls 1. Here we got the Farron Coal that we can take to Andre to increase his capabilities. Enable heavy, sharp, and poison weapon infusion. Long ago used to forge the great swords of the undead Legion of Farron. Give to the blacksmith in the shrine to allow the use of gems for heavy, sharp, and poison infusion. Oh, I should point out, the first Lord of Cinder we're going to run into is the sort of last remnant of a cult-like knightly order dedicated to Artorias because he was so awesome and legends about him lasted for millennia and they all wanted to fight and emulate and be just like him and be as cool as he. It's basically an Artorias cosplay club. That's our first major, like, Lord of Cinder boss. Like Dark Souls 3 lays it on way too thick. Oh, big crap. No big crap. There's big crab too. Grass Crest Shield, that will increase our stamina regen. Meaning I'm all about it. We are invaded by Dark Spirit Yellowfinger Hazel. This is a special legacy character that we've definitely seen before. Or at least she looks like someone we've seen before. Why, she's wearing King Jeremiah's headpiece, or something that looks very remotely like it. And she has a special war pick that doubles as a catalyst, which is really cool. She's incredibly agile as well. I do hate that, like, even invading NPCs will heal with Estus repeatedly, but looks like she's flat out. Oh no. Oh god, are you kidding me? She's using a special version of the Soul Arrow with decreased damage and a mild homing capability called Soul Dart, or the Farron Dart, I think. I cannot believe she's going to kill me. God damn it! Shit! Can you believe that? Like, they definitely wanted to make NPC invaders more challenging in this game, didn't they? MC says, I mean, I saw it. Yeah, it's rough stuff. PvP in this game in general. Also, for what is ostensibly a weapon with a bleed build-up associated with it, we've hardly been able to bleed anything with this katana. We will fix that later, believe you me. Let's first fight our way through what appear to be eight dozen hollows with the spears. It also feels... Again, I don't mean to be, like, just super critical, but, like, I'm realizing a lot more about all of these games as I play them in rapid succession. It feels like there's maybe just too many enemies in Dark Souls 3. Like, I mean regular, run-of-the-mill enemies. MC says, I'm reading What Is There to Eat in Duskwall. I'll have to get around to that again at some point. God. MC says, I want to say the amount of small enemies is similar to Bloodborne. Yeah, and that's the problem. I think they might have actually learned a bit too much from Bloodborne. Oh, and there's dogs, of course. Why on earth wouldn't there be? This isn't a very large area. We're actually almost through the whole thing, but it's just laden with enemies. Mainly these guys, who are present in numbers way in excess of what I actually remember. We can summon Hodrick if we want. I mean, no. Estus Shard, very nice. Pair of crucified beasts. Oh, we actually bled that one. Imagine that. Okay, so they're really easy to bleed, as it happens. That's good to know. We should be invaded by Hazel at some point. Or maybe she only invades when you're, like, down physically in the bog. We've got a bunch of hollows, including, like, hollowed sorcerers in here. Notice he's also using the Farron Soul Dart. Now, wearing big hats, like if you're a sorcerer, is actually a cultural thing in this game. Now, why on earth do you think that is? And I swear this is no joke, this is the actual reason. Because, of course, they were inspired by, like, the cultural memory of Big Hat Logan from Dark Souls 1. Sure. Sure, why not? There's seriously just so much to explore around here. First time we've seen this type of hollow since the High Wall, I want to say? Oh, cool, we can get our sorcery trainer. Here he is. He is, as I said, more than a little out of the way.
Don't often have visitors. What do you want? This is my study that you've happened upon. If you haven't any business, I've reading to get back to.
Oh, I know how that feels, brother, but we need to learn some sorceries.
Very well. Indeed, I am a sorcerer, with plenty to share. However, what champion demands service without recompense? Clearly, you're not that sort of man. So you will make me a promise that in exchange for my teaching, you will bring me knowledge in the form of scrolls detailing sorcery's secrets. Well, can you assure me of this?
Of course.
Very well. You're no fool. I take it you understand the weight of a promise.
He is a lot kinder than he seems at first, and he becomes a genuine friend to us as we bring him more and more sorceress materials.
We will learn together. It shall be like our very own school.
Now let's destroy his entire office. Gotta love those physics. Is there something over here? No? There is something down here, though. Blue bug pellets. I think those temporarily boost, elemental resistance? Maybe like magic resistance or something? Oh, that hollow sorcerer just launched a soul spear at me. Did you see that? That's new. I don't know if that's part of their general moveset, or if they're like hard-coded to do that, like this one, to surprise you, but... Jeez. I do like, though, how all of the hollows here are wearing, like, tattered robes of what looks like a sorcery school, or something. Oof. He just tanked right through my kick, didn't he? Crystal Lizard, hello, hello. Give me an upgrade gem. Gotta infuse some stuff, man. No! Of course it's a trap. It's always a trap. Crystal gem, nice, nice. So this, like, dilapidated fortress has a whole lot to it, as you can no doubt tell. Well, that guy won't be a threat anymore. Take his shield out of the way and then riposte him, very nice. I don't know if you can get their hat. I don't know that you can. Or I was going to say I don't think that you can. Almost everything we've explored, by the way, is like totally optional. There we go. That's what we want. Drop down to this balcony from the balcony above. And get another Ring of Sacrifice. Yeah, nice. Why not? And I'm sure there's also stuff over here, right? Nearer the area where Hazel invaded us. The Golden Falcon Shield from the Volgan Falconers in Dark Souls 2. I guess it's cool to see that again, right? Like, I have no problem with, like, a lot of weapons and armor. Well, weapons, mainly, like weapons and shields and things like that coming back from the earlier games. Those are more dignified throwbacks, I should say. I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're going to go ahead and equip some charcoal pine resin just for this invader. Oh, we've got the Fallen Knight set, which is, I think, more or less the Forlorn set from Dark Souls 2. That's kind of neat. Oh god, no. Oh, both big crabs. No! Oh, and now she shows up. Great, great. Well, we're screwed. I'm MC says, I would not have problems with the fan service if the story justified it. I think even with story justification, it would be excessive. I think they needed to dial way, way back and try injecting some more originality and identity into this one than they ultimately did. Well, where is she? There she is. Well, we are screwed. MC says, well, if the story justified it, there'd be less fan service. Yeah, I definitely think it would. Well, I know that there would. If I progress through the game in just the way I want, tomorrow's stream will include some incredibly blatant fan service. Like, I mean, borderline insulting fan service. We've not gotten to the really egregious stuff yet. I think the problem I'm having with this particular NPC encounter is, they are a caster who's also really agile and a really capable hand-to-hand combatant. Like, I guess this early in the game, if you're wanting to design an encounter like that, it would make more sense to have, like, 2 out of the 3, whichever you like, but not all 3. And the aggro range of Big Crab is absolutely insane, by the by. If Yellowfinger Hazel wants to fight me, she's gonna have to fight me out here. Let's slather some darkness on there, why not? Oh, gotta love that dark effect. Where on earth does she spawn from, by the way? Oh, there she is. Oh, something special about her pick. Like the scythes, it pierces through shields. She is this game's equivalent of a Dark Wraith, for the record, a member of Rosaria's Fingers. Now she's gonna heal. Yep. That should exhaust her supply of Estus. There we go. Whew. So we got Jeremiah's Crown and the Hazel Pick, which does in fact function as a catalyst. Now, only problem, there's 2 more NPCs we want to take down if we want to get everything in this area. The Forlorn Knights. Oh, are you kidding me? Yeah, NPCs in this game are also way more fond of backstabs and parries than they were in previous entries. And they both got big ol' weapons. The Great Club and Murakumo, I think? They're members of a special covenant too, but not the same one. Oh, and they've got miracles and can heal themselves? I do not remember that at all. God damn! Every human enemy in this game can heal themselves. Well, once we're down to just one, they probably won't be that bad, right? Man, we need some kind of ranged option through magic or something ASAP. I mean, they look really cool. I dig their design. Just gotta let that aura dissipate, if we can. Oh, we're dead. We're dead. Jesus, come on! I don't like this little area very much, if you can't tell. It's, I think, cause like, Holy Knight Hodrick's off to the side, and it's kind of a big, wide open area. This might be meant to encourage, like, PvP, or, co-op, and the like. I remember my first time fighting those guys, it was like me and my best friend working side by side, and we split them between the two of us. That made for a really fun encounter. But I just don't know. I don't know. It seems like kind of a lot to throw at players this early on in the game, you know what I mean? But once we're through with them and loot the chamber behind them, we are effectively done with the area and ready for the boss, which is a really, really cool fight. Oh, I should have equipped fire bombs or something. Damn it. Man, look at him run. They're very acrobatic. I will give them that much. I mean, I guess at the least they telegraph their attacks really, really clearly, so that's not so bad. Oh, no, you don't. Oh, yes, he does. And he's gonna burn both casts of it right straight away. Well, come on now. There we go, baby. No, no. Oh, God almighty. Here we go again. Now, can he heal as well? I don't think that he can. There we go. Whew. Finally. Okay, so all the horrible NPCs around here are gone, and we get the Exile Greatsword and the Great Club for our trouble. So a Great Hammer and a Curved Greatsword, respectively. Not too bad. I mean, not my kind of stuff, but not too bad. We got Homeward Bones, and we've got a great vista of our next area, which is basically this game's Blighttown equivalent, the Farron Swamp. Keep an eye on those 3 giant burning towers, okay? They're gonna be really important. And down here we have the first Farron bonfire. But we're not going to go in that direction quite yet. We're going to do the boss of this area, then Farron Swamp, then the area that this boss is guarding. First things first, though, probably ought to pop a Homeward Bone so we can, you know, rest up properly. What do you think? Should we keep the stream going after this boss fight or call it for the day? I honestly don't know. Like, whatever you guys are feeling. MC says I'm gonna go to sleep soon. Alright, man. We'll do this last fight for the day, then. Oh, right, no, this is the Farron bon... Oh, it's the last bonfire you, like, visited, period, not the last one you rested at now. That's interesting. MC says, I think we made some good progress. Yeah, we're finally through the areas that take hours and hours to explore everything in. Stick with us for this boss, though, because it is genuinely a great fight. That gets us a weapon that's going to be absolutely perfect for our build. So if you remember, the boss was actually off of this west side tower with all of the, like, hollowed wizards inside. And she says, oh yeah, I want to see more bosses. Yeah, no, the overall, quality of Dark Souls 3's bosses is phenomenal, but there aren't quite as many in this game as there were in Dark Souls 1, I want to say, and nowhere near as many as there were in Dark Souls 2. In the base game, I should say. The DLCs add 2 and 4, respectively, so that's a pretty healthy number. So all we gotta do is fight our way through this hallway one more time. And from, like, the enemies in this area, you might be able to guess what the boss is. Broadly. Oh, did this one drop something? Oh, a staff! Free of charge. Very nice. Get ready. It's another two-phaser, as most fights are, against a hollowed archmage, the Crystal Sage. They use a variety of purple soul sorceries against us, and actually do have a rapier they can use at close range. They've got a very cool-looking design. Ow. Generally, we want to wait until their sorceries dissipate, if we can, and then just wail on them. They'll teleport, a bunch of crystal clusters will appear out of the ground, and they will emerge from one of them. Now, in this first phase, nothing happens to the crystals they don't come out of. In the second phase, something most definitely does. Phase 2, and here they come. Every crystal cluster that we do not disrupt somehow will instead form into a crystal sage decoy that uses blue soul sorceries to attack rather than purple ones. Or no, sorry, many of them will. Or they'll generate them, something like that. So just find the one firing off purple soul sorceries, and you've got your target. Okay, down they go. So we probably want to take out all of the decoys first, if we can. Because the sage is tough enough on, I think it's her own? In the lore, there were two sages at one time, like siblings, a brother and a sister. And I think this is the sister. She's not that durable, but she really, doesn't have to be, given how powerful her moves are. You also probably want to make really judicious use of cover here. Not like that. Not like that at all. Oh my god, both times, really? Got her! Ooh. Okay, then. That was a really cool fight, and we got the special blue crystal soul of the sage. The twin crystal sages once served as spiritual guides to the scholars of the Grand Archives, and one went on to ally with the Undead Legion. MC says that was close, congrats, thank you. And yes, it definitely was. It was worth it, though, because far from the hardest fight in the game, we can get something really special from her soul. You can probably already guess what it is from the fight. There's a new NPC here we'll talk to at the start of tomorrow's stream. MC says, orb. No, I wish, but... Oh, wrong throne. No, we can get a very nice little weapon out of that encounter. One I've never used at length before, but one that'll be perfect for us. So, we can get her Crystal Hail sorcery. Unique sorcery developed by extraordinary preacher twins known as the Crystal Sages. Cast a cascade of small crystal soul masses from above. Crystal soul masses have piercing qualities. In a pact said to have been formed long ago, one of the sages allied with the Undead Legion in order to train the sorcerers of Farron, so all the hollows we fought, and their crystal rapier. Thrusting sword with tiny crystals scattered across its blade, used by the Crystal Sages for self-defense. The crystals boost the magic damage inflicted by the sword and the item discovery of its wielder, fruits of the lifetime research conducted by the sages. We're not quite strong enough to use it, we'll actually need a point in strength, but we're getting that. Now let's level up, at least enough to get the strength, so I can show this sucker off.
Welcome, speak. Very then take.
How many levels can we get, by the way? 4, okay. We'll get 1 strength. Some vitality, maybe, and a couple more intelligence.
Farewell.
Will this make us strong enough, or do we need 1 more? We might need 1 more. Nope, that'll do it. This, I'm pretty sure, is where it's at. Nice and fast. It has a special stance, or no, it's the rapier stance you can use in place of a weapon art. This is pretty good, and if you notice, even by the standards of thrusting swords, it has a very long blade. So, we are going to see if we can't level this up. Well, we can't level this up, I know that. I guess that'll do it for today then. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for joining me tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, provided my voice holds out. I've had something of a scratchy throat today. With more Dark Souls 3. We'll take on our first Lord of Cinder and make good progress towards the third. Until then, ladies and gents, thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.